Hello, Seekers. It's been a while. I'm finally stepping out of the shadows to let you know what's been going on and that I'm still here and still going to be going with the channel and very excited to be doing so. Things haven't gone quite how I'd want to this year in regards to having a lot of time to keep up with everything that I want and to play all the games that I want, but I've still been keeping up with the hobby and I'm still picking up some great games, and I've got some stuff that I'd like to show you. And for those who want to stick around to the end, I'll have more of a life update, channel update kind of thing to talk about my perspectives on tabletop role playing and talk about where I want to go with the channel. So I'll put that to the end, but one life update thing that I'm going to talk about right now is that I have a gaming table. I got a new gaming table about a month ago, and let me tell you, it's been a game changer. For those of you who may not know, all of my previous videos, I had very, very limited space to play and to record those, and I basically had to set up and tear down every single time I wanted to record any episodes. And it became a real drag after a while. And of course, also harder to play the games when you don't have enough space to set things up as you would like to. But thankfully that's in the past now. And my gaming table is awesome and have so much more space to set up games and organize things. And the best thing is I can just leave my games out. I don't need to tear everything down, set everything up all the time. And yeah, it's been a game changer. All right, so any other life update stuff, like I said, I'll put that to the end. Right now, we're going to give the people what they want, which is talking about some kick-ass games, my favorite things that I've picked up this year, and some of these I would definitely like to play on the channel if the opportunity arises and the stars align and I get everything set up how I would like for these various games. But let's get going here. We're going to start off with Grimscar, and I saw this game on the Dungeon Dive. Daniel was showing off this game, and pretty much the first minute I saw it, I was like, okay, I have to have this. The vibe is just exactly what I like, and just a really great presentation in here. You got your content warning right there. I think pretty much anytime a game starts off with a content warning, that is a sign that you're going to be in for an awesome game. And that is what we have with Grimscar. I mean, just look at this art. This is incredible. For me, real Sleepy Hollow vibes. And I love Sleepy Hollow. It's part of why I have Hollow in the name of my channel. And yeah, this one just really speaks to me with the whole style of everything. And then you're going through this dark forest, and what really sealed the deal is that this is a very hex-driven game, and I absolutely love hex maps and hex crawls. I already liked them maybe last year, but I like them even more now. And so the hex crawl mechanic in here is really cool. And I have not played the game yet, but I have an idea of how things go. Spent some time reading through here, and yeah, it's a fairly small game, and that's fine because sometimes I just need something that is a little more simple. You even have these standees in here that you can print off, and I mean, look at this house. This is awesome. And then all your different sheets here. You got your sheets for your hex crawl. It's like this multi-tiered forest. Very cool idea. And this is I believe this is specifically a solo game. Yeah, this is a solo game here. And so, you know, a smaller game and specifically solo, it makes it a little bit less taxing on the brain to learn and play. So this is definitely something that I will play when my brain needs a break from bigger systems and bigger games. Take a look at these cards here really quick. It explains the rules of combat here. And then you've got your different critters. The Bark Fiend. It's got racking fingers, roll a d6, 1 to 3, gain an extra minor wound. Its body is a mass of animated, twisted wood and bark moving as one. Love it. Yeah, I just love the whole vibe of this game. Look at this guy, Dark Warrior. The mighty helmet seems attached to its torso as if part of its body. So, awesome stuff. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be playing this one on the channel, but, you know, Halloween is coming up, and maybe for that week I will do a little play of this. But yeah, Grimscar RPG, awesome stuff. Pick it up. Yes, glad I've got that one, and I got to find a place to put that because I got a lot of books up here. All right, next one is going to be Terra Invictus campaign setting. This one is by the Chubby Funster, who also has a YouTube channel. He's been doing some really great dungeon and adventure analysis, which I will link to his channel because he actually did a kind of like a solo play of this to show you. And but yeah, really cool guy. He's got some great stuff on his channel. I think he has a nickname, but Chubby Funster is his real name. So anyway, Terra Invictus, this is actually for Shadowdark, and I didn't have Shadowdark. Chubby Funster also did something called Shadow Sun, which is Shadowdark version of Dark Sun, and I actually picked that up last year, and I never played it because I didn't have Shadowdark. And I finally decided to get Shadowdark. I don't have Shadowdark yet. It's in the mail, but when I get that, I can play this. And one funny thing about this is I saw it on Noble Knight Games, and I bought it, and I actually got the wrong one. So this is Terra Invictus for a system that I believe Chubby Funster created, which is called Ambition and Avarice. And so this is not the Shadowdark one. And this version is a little bit older, and of course has some differences to work with the Ambition and Avarice system. But basically what you have here is you have a hyper detailed hex crawl. There's a whole world map that goes with this, which I also ordered, and I'll be getting that from drive-through. But yeah, hyper detailed hex crawl, which I absolutely love. Every single hex has an entry, and you've got all these different events that are going on in the hex. And what you do is it's a very cool system of doing skill checks to unlock these different events, and just passing the skill check to unlock the event doesn't mean that you're going to reap the benefit of that. There may still be something to play out, some kind of a quest, some kind of other skill checks, combats, anything. And so it creates this very cool system where even as a solo player, you're really not allowed to look at a lot of this stuff. But if you make that skill check, if you pass that skill check, then you unlock the ability to read that text and then proceed with it. And needless to say, this works really well in solo play. I've done a little bit of testing with this, just with the with the PDF, which I went and ordered from drive-thru after I found out that I got the wrong book from Noble Knight Games. But anyway, just a really cool way of playing solo. And this is actually not a dedicated solo product, as far as I'm aware, but the solo mode, especially in the Shadowdark version, the solo mode is more developed, and it, kind of shows you how to reap the benefits of this as a solo player. And yeah, this is something I'm really looking forward to getting dug into. And I do hope to bring some kind of a series of this to the channel. And it's kind of what finally got me to buy Shadowdark, actually, because I'd been sort of on the fence about if I wanted to get that. And but Shadowdark, even compared to a year ago, Shadowdark has so many more different adventures and settings and things that people have released. And then, of course, you've got the Western Reaches Kickstarter, which I actually did back that. And so there's a lot of great stuff out there for Shadowdark now. And it seems like this kind of ecosystem that's probably just going to keep growing as we go forward. So really, if you've been on the fence about Shadowdark, I think it's definitely time to pick it up, because you got so much great stuff out there. But yeah, Terra Invictus, I hope to bring this to the channel. Really great stuff here from the Funster. All right, so moving on, we have, you knew this one was going to come, right? Tales of Argosa. This has definitely been one of the smash hits of the year. Just incredible, absolutely brilliant game from Pickpocket Press. And Mr. Steve Grodzicki, hopefully I didn't say that too badly, but yes, absolutely brilliant. And man, there's just so much stuff packed into this. I think it's about 250 pages or so, and it's just filled to the brim with amazing stuff. Really a masterclass in a setting agnostic. Of course, you got kind of your implied sword and sorcery setting, and this really does sword and sorcery justice. But very, very easy to adapt to different settings. And I do think that a setting book is in the works from rumblings that I've seen. But really, even though it'd be great to have, this is just such a toolkit to use with whatever setting that you want. And I've got a really cool kind of setting and sort of game idea, sandbox idea that I want to play with this, that I'm really excited about. And I definitely would like to show that on the channel as well. I've got a really awesome hex map that I'm going to be using for that, and kind of a whole theme around that. And I'm looking at different supplements, even going back into some old D&D supplements to try to figure out exactly what I want to implement into that. But it's going to be great. And then on top of this, just incredible book here that's just chock full of amazing things. You've also got the deck of signs, and you have the bones, these oracle bones, and these things are awesome. I mean, really, these have become pretty much my favorite oracle tools, especially these dice. They're so versatile, they're so flexible, and you can just do all kinds of stuff with these. And then the deck of signs also, these are really beautiful. So if you do pick up Tales of Argosa, I don't know if all these things are still available, these different add-ons, but if they are, definitely get them. They are so worth it. And these are really some of the best oracle tools that I have ever come across. And if the book wasn't that great, it would almost be worth just getting these oracle tools. But you know what? The book is incredible as well, so you should get all of it. And yeah, I would kind of call this the Argosa is like the Shadowdark of sword and sorcery. So it's like the perfect distillation and refinement. So yeah, you have got to get this if you love sword and sorcery at all, and you want something that you can adapt to all kinds of settings. Like another thing that I'd like to do with this is play some of the Forbidden Lands modules with this. You could just do nothing but play all the awesome Forbidden Lands hex maps and stuff for years with this. So yeah, highest recommendation for Argosa. I have played a few little sessions of it, testing out some of the things like I was saying for the kind of setting and sandbox that I want to play with this. So great stuff there. And now all we have left is some giant behemoths here, or behemoth. And the first one is Gods of the Forbidden North. This is volume 1. I also have volume 2. And wow, this setting is unbelievable. There is so many things in here that gets me like excited. And this is probably one of the few books where there is quite a bit of lore and things in here. And I've actually just sat here for hours and just read through these timelines and the lore and the cultures. And man, yeah, it just really speaks to me. Man, and then all the art in here is just incredible. And I have some kind of familiarity with some of the inspirations for this because according to the author, let me see here. Let's look at. So this is from the Pulp Hummock Press and Robert Alderman. And according to Mr. Alderman, some of the inspiration for this comes from Alaska. And Alaska is a place that I actually lived in for a while. And I can definitely see some inspiration there. And yeah, it's just a setting that really makes me want to dive in. And as I said, like I haven't probably been this taken with the lore of a setting in quite a while, and just reading through all this lore. And it's just a massive campaign. You've got so much stuff going on. And you know, as usual, one of the main selling points for me with almost anything is a great hex map, and this has an absolutely awesome hex map. I did try to make my own. Printout of it, which I've got here. This is the Game Master one, which I actually decided that I may not use this one when I do go to play it, just to try to keep things a little bit more hidden. But yeah, just an amazing hex map there. Always something that attracts me to a setting. And yeah, playing this solo is probably not going to be the easiest thing in the world because it is designed for a party of, I believe, around 6 or even more heroic characters. So I'd probably try to play this with a party of 3, and they'd have to be appropriately powered up to survive very much, I think. But wow, any time that you put into this would absolutely be worth it, because this is really just a monumental work. And then the fact that you've got 2 more books to go with this, and the second book is even bigger than this book. I mean, this book comes in pretty close to 500 pages, I believe. Yeah, like 460 something. And the second book is even bigger. And the third book is scheduled to come out the end of this year, I believe. And it's going to be basically a mega dungeon where you're going to face off with the big baddies. And man, just everything in here is so well designed. Just all these dungeons, all these locations, all the hex details. I think you've got something like 300 detailed hexes or something in here. And again, that's just this book, because you've got even more detailed hexes in the other books. And just oozing with atmosphere. Absolutely love it. I would like to try to play this on the channel, but it's going to be pretty tough. And I'm also thinking about what system I'd like to play with it. And I might even use Shadowdark to play with this. This is for OSE, but you can play OSE stuff with Shadowdark. And the biggest reason for that would probably be just to have a fairly streamlined rule set so that I can try to focus as much as possible on getting into the setting, getting into the characters, and just sort of like breathing in this world. So that's something I'm thinking about. I really have to take a lot of time to decide what rule system I want to use for Gods of the Forbidden North, but absolutely amazing. Moving on, another gigantic book, Adventurer Conqueror King, the Imperial Imprint, also known as Acts 2. And man, what a incredible work this is. It's a hyper detailed system, very complex. It's probably not going to be for everyone, and I'm not even sure if I will ever be able to really do it justice in terms of understanding all the systems and getting everything going. But man, what an accomplishment this is. You got 3 books. This is the Judge's Journal, which is kind of like your Game Master Guide. And then you have, of course, the rule book. And then you have the Monstrous Manual. And all 3 books are just incredible. So much detail in here. I've been reading through the kind of the opening chapters here. A lot of kind of high level talk about what it means to be a game master. And I haven't finished reading it, but I can tell you, like, I've already learned quite a lot from this, and it's really kind of changed my perspective on some things, even with solo role playing, and looking at going beyond just combat. But don't get me wrong, I love combat, but going beyond really thinking holistically about what it is that you're doing as a game master, and trying to apply some of those things that game masters use with a group, and trying to see what things I can apply to solo playing as well. So I think anyone can learn a lot from this book. And I would also say that even if you were not going to play Axe, this Judge's Journal would be an amazing thing to pick up, even as a solo player, because there's so many tools in here, so many things that you can learn and apply to your games. Just everything, settlements, dungeons, NPCs, abstract dungeons, abstract wilderness. This abstract thing is really cool. It would probably only work with the Axe system as far as I know, but very cool how you can turn dungeons or wilderness encounters into sort of like a formula, and then you can just sort of play those out with a couple dice rolls, and it's very cool stuff. Everything about building custom classes, custom races. You could easily apply a lot of this stuff to other systems, custom spells, custom magic types, custom rules. And that's the other thing too. Like if you only had the Axe rulebook, it's totally worth getting the Judge's Journal for the custom rules, because there's some awesome stuff in here that you can apply. They've really thought of everything. You really don't need to come up with all kinds of house rules to play this game, because they've just got it all in here. There's all kinds of different rules, variations. I love how you can customize this. I think other than GURPS, I've never seen a system that is so customizable. And this even if I never get into even half of all the things that you can do with this system, I just love the fact that something like this exists. And this is just a really, really high quality work here. Amazing stuff. And this book is like an heirloom quality book. You could pass this down to your children. Just amazing stuff. Honestly, I could sit here and read this like all day long. Every single page to me is like so interesting. Awesome stuff in here. And yeah, I didn't bring the other two books out because they're just absolutely massive. Yeah, they're just absolutely massive, so it would take up all the space. But yes, Acts 2. I hope I could bring this to the channel. It's going to take a lot of learning to get into this. That being said, I do not think that the rules themselves are insanely complicated. It's derived from BX. And so, people who already have a lot of background in Dungeons and Dragons, they'd probably have a much easier time getting into this. I myself, I do not. I mean, I have a background in D&D on computer games, but I do not have any kind of tabletop background in D&D. So I'd be learning everything in here pretty much from the ground up. It is somewhat similar to OSE, which I do understand OSE at a basic level, but probably what I would do is maybe try to do some kind of a one shot or something with this, just to give a little bit of a gameplay example of it. But yeah, absolutely incredible. Very happy to own this, and this is something that this is a resource that you could just use pretty much for your whole life, really. And like I said, you can pass this on to your kids. I mean, this thing is just so quality. Pretty amazing stuff. All right, and we're on to the final one. And these are not really in rank order of like what I think is the best, but they are kind of in rank order of maybe how excited I am about them. And so the last one is Dolmenwood, Adventure and Peril in Fairy Tale Woods. And man, I gotta say, I'm so happy to have Dolmenwood, not just because it's an incredible setting, an incredible system, but even though I am a hardcore grimdark player, I do like to have some kind of different things, a little bit more colorful, a little bit more whimsical stuff now and then. And I've really bounced off of some of the more kind of lighter settings, like Dragonbane. You have a little bit more of those kind of like quirky animals and stuff like that. And I had the Dragonbane box set, starter set, which is a really great starter set, by the way. It's probably one of the best starter sets that I've ever seen. I did recently pick up the One Ring Overhill and Underhill starter set, and I feel like that starter set took a lot of inspiration from the Dragonbane starter set. So, but anyway, yeah, I kind of bounced off Dragonbane. It just really didn't quite work for me. And then I also had Vaesen, which also has a little bit more of that fairy tale whimsy style, but I also kind of bounced off of that as well. But Dolmenwood, man, I am so into Dolmenwood. This is everything that I could dream of for a whimsical fairy tale setting. Just incredible stuff. I mean, look at this map. This is absolutely amazing. This is your player-facing map, which is kind of more like an art piece, but you also have an incredible hex map, and that's actually how I even found out about Dolmenwood. Is I saw an older Dolmenwood hex map that was shared for the setting, and I was just blown away by that map. And I was like, "Whoa, what is this game? I got to get into this." And of course, now we finally are starting to have the physical books available. And man, just look at these characters. This is a Grimalkin here, and Dragonbane. It has the ducks, and man, ducks just don't do it for me. But I like these cats. I like their Grimalkin, and then this guy too. These crazy guys. This is the Woodgrue. I don't know. Woodgrues are pretty cool. I like them. So, but yeah, Dolmenwood. Well, let me tell you, everything you ever heard about the wood is true, and everything you ever heard is false. Dreams and fairies walk between standing stones and dancing trees, slipping in and out of the mortal world as easily as you or I slip through an open door. Awesome, awesome stuff. And this book is just really, really beautiful. The pages are really large. Everything is very clearly printed out, which, my eyes are getting older, so it's nice to have a book that's super clear and easy to read and just a pleasure to flip through here. I haven't played any of it yet, but I have gone through the character creation, and it's pretty easy. It's not too tough to get into. The rules are pretty much derived from OSE. And one thing that is cool is that you don't need the OSE books. You can just play this straight out of here. All the rules are baked in, which is just awesome. And that's one of the things that's so great, I think, about Dolmenwood is that everything that you need is all just integrated into here. You don't really need any extra source books or rule books. It is still three main books. You got a monster book, you got a campaign book, and you have a player book. So you do still have 3 separate books. But that's really no problem for me. I just like the fact that everything is all in the Dolmenwood books. And you got all your different races here. Mortals, fairies, demi-fae, Breggold. Breggolds are also really cool. I'll go into the classes here. I really like the classes a lot. Excuse me. There's just something about how they did the classes. Like, I've never really been excited to play a bard before, but the bard in here it's different. They've really sort of changed things up a little bit. Pretty much every class in here is kind of a cool spin. Like, again, I've never really been excited about playing any mage class, but enchanter, like this, I don't know, something about this just looks really cool. And whenever I do go to play this and I roll up some random characters, like I really hope that I would get an enchanter character. Fighter, man, this art is so cool. The friar, I don't really know exactly what's different about a friar and a cleric, but I think the friar is a little bit more nature based. It's kind of almost maybe like a little bit more like on a ranger type of thing. Not sure on that, but anyway, the hunter. One thing that's cool about the hunter is they get an animal companion, and I do like that. I think that's really cool. The knight, and you have all these houses, and man, the different houses and factions and everything in here. I mean, there's a lot of complexity with the factions. The game itself, again, going from the rules and just kind of getting into it and running around, I don't think it's really that too complex. But if you want to get into the real setting details, you want to get into all the factions and the interplay between the different relations and stuff like that, man, it's really deep, really, really deep. And I think some of that would be kind of hard to get into, to really implement into solo. But if you can even just get into a little bit of that, I mean, it would make a really great solo game because it's just such a rich world for you to get into. And man, like I would really like to get into the story of this. The story actually really excites me. And man, you just got all your spells, all your adventuring gear. And then I have to show the campaign book at least a little bit. Of course, there's a lot of spoilers and stuff in here, but as a solo player, you have to deal with that. But yeah, just a beautiful hex map. Hex map is always a big seller for me. Love it. And yeah, so like in your hex descriptions, I mean, there's just incredible amount of stuff. I think something over like 100 pages of hex descriptions, just all beautiful stuff. And on the map, I've got the GM's cloth map here. On this map, you've got different kind of hidden things that are shown on here. But I've read through some of the hex descriptions, and like there is way more stuff on this map than in this game world, like in all the hexes, than what they show on here. So, I mean, every single hex in here is so built up with stuff. And again, that's another thing that I like about this is like you don't need to bring in all these supplements like, oh, let's add, extra locations and let's bring in, 100 tables. And I mean, everything is in here. Like it's just packed with stuff. Density. It's so dense. So man, I cannot wait to get into Dolmenwood. Just incredible. And I am definitely going to try to play this on the channel. We'll see how it goes. I definitely won't be able to do it justice in terms of, all the things that you could do with a gaming table, with a proper normal setup like that. But I won't be able to do it justice with all the factions and just all the richness of this. But and another thing I like about this, like, I mean, look at this, like you've still got some pretty dark stuff in here, and man, just like it's really a perfect combination between sort of this colorful world and also a really pretty dark and twisted world as well. So yeah, I don't want to show off too much of that, but man, look at these maps, just incredible stuff. And then I also have 4 adventure books as well. So yeah, I would definitely like to bring Dolmenwood to the channel and try to do a solo play for this. Probably not too difficult from a rules perspective, but a lot of things are balanced for a larger party, so I'd have to figure out how I can balance it for a party of like 2 or 3, because I really prefer to keep the party smaller when solo playing. And then, like I said, man, there's just no way I could do it justice as far as all the lore and everything in here, but I'd definitely like to try. And hopefully some of you guys are as excited as I am about this. But yeah, let me know what you think about all these games that I put out here. If you have any of these, or you've been playing any of these, or you want to play any of these. And yeah, so that's going to do it for all of the games that I wanted to show, like my favorite pickups of the year so far. And for anybody who's still here, I'm just going to talk briefly about what is going on with me and the channel. For about half of this year, I thought I was going to be moving actually. And so I was actually kind of like downsizing a lot of stuff, and everything was sort of chaotic, and I really didn't have a stable way to kind of like play games and really get into them. And I couldn't really deal with the chaos of that and then trying to play games regularly. So that kind of ate up about half my year, but the stars did not align on that, and I'm actually not moving now. And so things are more stable now, especially now that I have a gaming table. So I'm going to be trying to get back into a regular release of content here. And on the games perspective, now I've been in the hobby for coming up on 18 months or so. And yeah, I really have kind of grown in my perspective of, what it means to play tabletop role-playing games. And I can see a lot in my first, year of playing and looking at some of my older videos, like I'm extremely reliant on just getting through the different procedures, and almost like just ignoring everything else, like ignoring story stuff and ignoring different, things that you could do to bring a little bit more richness to your game. And part of that is my preference, because I really do love, combat, and I love like looking at detailed rules and all those kind of things. But yeah, I would like to have a little bit more holistic perspective, I think, on tabletop role playing and on solo role playing now. So I like to bring more balance to the different elements to the combat, the story, the character growth, the NPC interactions, the world interactions. So that's something that I'm trying to do more of going forward, is bring a balance to all those different elements. And part of that is a learning process and figuring out how you're going to do some kind of things. I remember when I first saw solo role playing, like the whole idea of oracles and all that stuff, like it just was like, it was totally foreign to me. It was totally crazy, but it makes a lot more sense now, how to try to use these tools to do different things. And But yeah, and then again for the channel, I really mostly want to focus on actual plays. I really do like actual plays a lot, and I know that actual plays are not really the best things for like growing a channel, and viewership like really drops off after the first couple episodes. But I really do like actual plays a lot, and so kind of what I'm thinking is like, doing actual play series, an average around like 8 to 10 episodes, and then I'd probably take a break for like a week, and during that week, I'd have maybe one or two, more like talking head videos that kind of keep the channel going a little bit, and then launch into the next actual play series. So it's probably going to be like 70% actual plays and 30%, some more like one-off videos, a little bit of reviews here and there, but I'm really not like a review channel. So actual plays is really what I love to do, and that's what I want to focus on, and just continue to get better at that, because there's so many things that you can learn about doing actual plays. So many things that you can get better at. That it's really great hobby, because there's endless stuff that you can do. So, but yeah, that is my first video back and showing off the games that I am excited about. So I hope that you have enjoyed that, and thank you for sticking around. And I'll see you in the next one.